Hello and welcome to Odds on La Liga Matchday 25, probably the most interesting title race that we've had in years. 3 teams in 1 point, a lot of controversies. Everyone is talking more about the referees than about football, but this is a very interesting title race, Alvaro Romeo.
It is. It is also very, very, very exhausting that the conversation in Spain only goes around the referees. I think that the football has been good. I think that Real Madrid is improving a lot, and if it wasn't for the fact that they were reduced to 10 men, rightly so, in my opinion, they would have destroyed Osasuna. Atlético is going through a good moment. Barcelona is back, even though they struggle to beat Rayo Vallecano, because Rayo Vallecano is a very good side. You know, there are plenty of positive stories. One of them that we haven't spoken about yet, because it's still early doors, February, is the fact that it's very likely that Spain is going to have an extra representative in the next Champions League as well, especially after the performance of Italian clubs in the Champions League playoff round, because both AC Milan and Atalanta were knocked out. So, you know, that in a way is a positive thing too. But yeah, there are plenty of things to talk about, and I'm really looking forward to it, really. I think that La Liga is super exciting. I'm really glad, I always talk about them, but I'm really glad as well that Valencia is doing better little by little, because I want them to stay in the top flight. I don't know why, because there will be no investment this summer, but still, I think that in your mind and in my mind, Valencia is still a top flight team, and we would like them to stay.
Well, in this video, we are going to talk about football, about bets, and forget a little bit about the controversies, even though I was really angry at watching that game in 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐶𝐿, I must admit. Well, guys, post your tips, your comments. Of course, tell us what you think, who is going to be the champions next year in La Liga. Right now, Barcelona back again, being favorite, 2.2, Real Madrid 2.38. So now let's go on with the show. And for Friday, we have Celta Vigo, Osasuna, 2 teams that were very important last weekend, because Celta was able to draw at the Metropolitano playing against 10 men. Osasuna got this controversial draw at home against Real Madrid. Both scored from the penalty spot, both played against 10 men. And especially Osasuna, Alvaro, looking towards Europe right now, only 3 points away from European spots.
Yeah, of course. And I think there is a good mix in the fight for the Conference League and even the Europa League, with Rayo Vallecano, Mallorca, Betis, Osasuna. I don't know if Girona and Real Sociedad will be in that battle. Sevilla is certainly doing merits to be able to fight for that too. You know, it's an interesting one. This game is a good one for a Friday, actually. I like the games at Valladolid and Celta Vigo ground, Celta de Vigo ground. I think there are normally goals there. Celta plays on the front foot, they attack. The strikers of Celta are pretty decent, in my opinion. The other day against Atlético de Madrid, it was 2 veterans, Borja Iglesias just getting that penalty, 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 converting it at the ground of Atlético de Madrid. So, you know, it's a pretty exciting game, I believe, because Osasuna as well is a team that is neighboring European places too, 32 points. Celta is slightly worse because they had a bad autumn, but little by little they are recovering. And for this game, I'm going to go for the goals market. I think that if you check the odds for this game, you will see that, of course, there are many options of where to put your money. Celta is considered as the favorite, but I think that Osasuna can put a good fight. However, I think the goals market can be a decent one, because Celta just attacks, but also they open the back door. And Osasuna has a player like 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗏, who is a very good scorer, or the all-time scorer of Osasuna in the top flight. And I believe that the goals can happen on a Friday. So, you know, over 2.25 goals, 177. I like this one. Celta has 9 more points than last season at this stage. Osasuna is fighting for Europe, and I think that both sides can score.
All right, next game, Alavés Espanyol. This is a relegation 6-pointer with Alavés penultimate on the standings, 1 point away from the Fourth from bottom, they are also very angry at the referees. They also released a statement after the draw in Leganés. Is only 2 points in the last 4 games. Espanyol, 1 point above relegation, got an important draw against Athletic, Álvaro.
The thing about I think that Espanyol was impressive. Their fight was very good against Athletic de Bilbao. Unai Simon made a big mistake as well, that has to be said. But Espanyol is a different story when they play at home and away from home. That has to be said as well. I mean, Espanyol has a total of 24 points. 22 have been collected at home. So this is something that we shouldn't forget ahead of this game. When it comes to Alavés, everything for me goes around 𝐿𝐭𝐴∞. I mean, he's a footballer who can't stop scoring at the age of 34, and he is the difference between a few sides that are trying to avoid relegation and Alavés. The fact that Alavés has a really good striker, or a striker in form at least, who can score with the right, with the left, even though he's right-footed. So, you know, he's really having the time of his life right now. For this game, look, there are a few bets that we have to take into consideration. I think that Alavés is the favorite, and the book is considered that, because Alavés to win pays 183, and Espanyol to win pays 5. I'm not going to be chasing odds here. You know, it could be tempting, but I prefer to perhaps back Alavés with a simple one, which doesn't pay a lot, but sounds to me like a small safe bet, which will be an Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Alavés. That pays in the region of 155, 160, yes. Otherwise, I could consider Espanyol to score just 1 goal, because Alavés defense hasn't been perfect this season. The clean sheets are not happening lately. They considered 3 in the last game, for example. Espanyol to score only that, over 0.5 goals, pays 1.8. I think that this is a possibility that may happen, because going forward, Espanyol is not a bad side. They are well staffed with a few strikers that can score. So Espanyol to score just 1 goal or more, 1.8.
Very important game, this one for the relegation. Now for Europe, we have Rayo Vallecano, Villarreal, 6 against the 5th. Rayo Vallecano lost to Barcelona, probably deserving much more. Also, they were angry at the referees in Montjuic, even if the president or the manager didn't complain, but it was another controversial display. They were coming from 3 consecutive wins, and Villarreal 4 points away from Athletic. They missed a great chance, Álvaro, to get closer to Valverde's men with the draw against Valencia. Anyway, both teams are in really good form. Also, Villarreal 3 wins and 2 draws in the last 5.
Yeah, Villarreal are doing well. There is something good about them. The fact that if they don't win, they draw. They haven't lost as of late. But I think that Rayo Vallecano is in a better form. I know that on the table, Villarreal has 6 more points than Rayo Vallecano, but Rayo's form is really impressive. They lost at Barcelona, yes, but they lost only 1-0, and they had chances until the very end. I mean, that last chance they had in the 89th or the 90th minute was incredible. Just that header didn't go in. It wasn't easy. But, Barcelona suffered. The Rayo's pressure up front was too much for Barcelona at times. And then they defend very well. And I believe that Rayo Vallecano has 2 fullbacks that are really good defensively as well, which will make it difficult for the likes of Pepe, for example, or 𝗀𝗻𝗻𝗀, 2 very good wingers of Villarreal. This game is going to be pretty exciting, I believe. There is a belief in 𝗷𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗀 that this season, yes, Rayo can qualify for Europe. He was very angry about not having collected 1 point at Barcelona's ground, so that tells you about the ambition of Rayo, a team that, again, pressurizes very well up front. They don't let you play from the back. And I think that at Vallecas, with their crowd, Rayo Vallecano and Villarreal will produce a very entertaining game. Not that Rayo is a scoring machine. Villarreal is better in that department. But I believe that over 2.5 goals can be a good one here. It pays 1.8 because Villarreal scores a lot defensively. They are a little bit flaky sometimes. And otherwise, if you look at the plain odds, you will see that if you back Rayo Vallecano, with a draw no bet, you still get really good money. Draw no bet for Rayo Vallecano 2-12, I like it, considering the form they are in. And don't get me wrong, Villarreal is in a good form as well. Villarreal has lost only 5 games this season, which is nothing after 24 games. So Marcelino is doing a very good job. But I believe that despite their defeat at Barcelona, Rayo Vallecano right now is in a slightly better moment than Villarreal. I really think so. I saw them play on Monday, they were incredible. So I'm going to back Rayo Vallecano with a draw no bet. Otherwise, if you want to make that slightly safer, you can go for an Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Rayo. But as I said before, a draw no bet 2-12 sounds like a good money for me.
Well, massive game in Mestalla, Valencia, Atlético de Madrid, a classic in La Liga, with Valencia recovering, as you said in your intro, very strong in Mestalla recently in La Liga, beat Leganés, Celta, or Real Sociedad, and Real Madrid suffered a lot in the early days of this 2025. Atlético de Madrid drop points, as we spoke before, Alvaro, against Celta, with Barrios sent off in the early minutes of this game. Now they are third in the standings, so also a lot of pressure on Simeone's men to win this game. This one is a very good clash, in my opinion.
It is a very good clash, yeah. Look, I'm going to back Atletico, right? Because they are plain and simply a better team than Valencia. But I don't forget that Valencia, since Corberán arrived, and if you remove from the equation the games against Barcelona, both in the league and in the cup, Valencia has been competitive. They were about to get something against Real Madrid. Last weekend they managed to win. At home they are becoming a little bit of a strong side. Mestalla has become a small fortress as well. And Valencia has recorded 5 wins this season. The 5 of them are at Mestalla. They beat Leganés, Celta, Real Sociedad, Betis and Girona here. So that tells you that the team is improving. Of course, they need to keep on hitting the results because they've got 23 points and they are 18th right now. Las Palmas will be 17th, okay? But, I can see that there is a recovery in there. They got 7 points of the last 9, but they are playing as Atletico. And Atletico was really affected by the sending off of Pablo Barrios last... was it Sunday or Saturday? Sunday, I believe. Sunday evening. Yeah, Sunday. Sunday afternoon. Because after that they had to play with 10 men. On top of that, Celta scored first, and then Atletico managed to score the equalizer with a very nice goal from Sorloth. Again, Atletico de Madrid has this capacity to change the games with the bench, and Simeone is using that chip a lot. This game, Atletico won't have any holding midfielder because Pablo Barrios is suspended and 𝐿𝐭𝐴 is out for about a month. So I guess that Gallagher and Rodrigo de Paul will have to play there, maybe Marcos Llorente in that position. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But, despite Valencia's recovery, despite what Corberán, the culture that Corberán is instilling in the team, I still believe that Atletico has more. Better defenders, better strikers, of course, a problem in midfield, but still they can solve it. So I'm going to go for Atletico to win because the odds are pretty good as well. I thought that the odds for Atletico to win here will be around 160, 165, given Valencia's position on the table, but it's not. It almost pays 2. So Atletico to win, considering that they are in a good moment, they haven't been playing European football because they are resting, they qualified automatically for the last 16. I think that it can happen. Atletico to win 192.
Next week we have Copa del Rey semi-finals. Remember, Atlético de Madrid, Barcelona. Barcelona also playing on Saturday in the Canary Islands in Las Palmas, very close to the Carnival. By the way, Las Palmas, remember, they won in Montjuic, but they are in terrible form right now. They look like going to Segunda División again with the same points as Valencia, 3 consecutive defeats, 1 point in the last 6. So bad days for Las Palmas, for Barça. Alvaro suffered a lot against Rayo Vallecano, but back to the premier spot in La Liga, 4 consecutive wins for them.
Yeah, I think that, again, the title race is going to be quite contested. I think that the first position, the second and the third, are going to fluctuate a lot. Personally, I believe that we're going to see a lot of switches at the top of the table. Barcelona is in a good moment, but against Rayo Vallecano, they couldn't really hammer them or wrap it up before the 90th minute, and that's why they suffered. I think that Pedri was astonishing again. This is personal taste, right? But he's my favorite midfielder to watch in the world. Maybe he's not the best, I don't know. This is down to people's opinion, but for me he's the most entertaining to watch because I love players with that type of quality. Then we can talk about the statistics, and when it comes to goals, he has scored 4, he has recorded 3 assists, which is not bad, but the way he controlled the game the other day against Rayo Vallecano was impressive. I never thought in 2021, his breakthrough year, that he would play that good. I thought in 2021 that he was terrific, but now this is a different level. Lamine Yamal was very sloppy. Strangely, Rafinha wasn't particularly great, but there is a man like Robert Lewandowski who's signing, and we'll talk about this one day, Edu, but I think that it was a little bit of a great signing, because when Lewandowski arrived at Barcelona, 33 years old at the time, it looked like maybe, or 34 years old, it looked like maybe it was a bad signing, but he has proven that he's still scoring. And how many games has Barcelona won 1-0 with a goal from Lewandowski? So many across all these years. I think Barcelona is favorite for this game. I don't think Las Palmas can be a big opponent for Barcelona right now. They are in a bad run. They haven't won a game in 2025. The last time they won a game was in December. And I really think that Barcelona is going to win this game, and I think that they can score as well. So I'm going to go for Asian handicap minus 1.5 for Barcelona. It pays 173.
Let's see if Atletico and Barcelona can win away this season. Our safe bet for this match day, I guess, Alvaro, should be Athletic to win in San Mamés against Valladolid. We've been saying this long time. Valladolid desperate, and the 4-0 at home against Sevilla probably is the nail in the coffin, if the coffin was not already buried. But difficult to find good bets here. Alvaro, Athletic very confident, I guess, to grab a Champions League spot. As you said, it's very likely also that Spain can have 5 teams next season, and they would be doing well if they collect points before the tough knockout stages of the Europa League comes.
Yeah, and I think that a few good teams are going to be in the knockout stage of the European League. I still believe that Fenerbahce with Mourinho can be a real problem. I really think so. And I believe that Tottenham, despite their misfortunes in the Premier League, on a double header or in the final, they've got so many dangerous players that they can beat you as well. But anyway, that's a totally different story. Yes, Valladolid against Sevilla were poor again, and they were so obviously worse than their opponent than when 𝗀𝗵𝗏𝗀 scored the 4th goal of Sevilla. He didn't even celebrate at Zorrilla because, I think that half the stands were already empty, the fans had given up, the team had given up. Just look at Valladolid for a second, just the goal difference. For me, the goal difference is always important because it tells you a lot, almost as much as the point tally. Espanyol, Leganés, and Valencia, they've got a goal difference of minus 13, right? Which is not catastrophic. Valladolid, minus 37. So Valladolid is 3 times worse than these 3 sides that are fighting to avoid relegation when it comes to the goal difference. Minus 37, 15 goals scored. Their run is awful. I mean, from what I can see here, they have lost the last 5 games, and the last time they collected the win was, strangely, in January, the 11th. It's not that far, but still, only 4 wins recorded this season in La Liga. For Athletic de Bilbao, of course, I believe that Athletic is not as trustworthy as they were a couple of months ago. I think that they, for whatever the reason, after playing a lot of football in autumn, and now that they got, a less congested calendar right now, they are not performing that well. Against Espanyol, for example, again, it happened to them like in the game against Alavés a couple of months ago. For whatever the reason, they know that they have to win it. they play away against a team that is lesser than them, and they don't really react or they don't really start taking the game very, very, very seriously until the very end, when everything is lost, or it's very difficult to turn the situation around. But at San Mamés is different. Athletic at San Mamés has been really reliable. So I think that we have to trust Athletic de Bilbao here. Valladolid is with a new manager, Alvaro Romeo. He's going to stay there until the end of the season. I don't think that he will change anything. Personally, it's impossible to change anything. One good thing about Athletic is that even when they have a bad day, they don't lose, they draw. But here, I think that they are going to win it comfortably. For me, they say the safest bet here will be over 1.5 goals in the second half, 191, because I think that Athletic can definitely score a couple of goals against Valladolid in the second half. Otherwise, Athletic to win the second half. You asked me before if this is my safe bet. No, but it's in my ACCA. Athletic to win the second half, 148. I like it. But for this game in particular, I'm going to try to get better odds. So over 1.5 goals in the second half, 191. And I hope that this is the time when Nico Williams finally starts waking up a little bit, because he has had a difficult season with plenty of injuries.
Let's move on to the next game, Real Madrid-Girona. We still don't know what Real Madrid are going to do in the Champions League in that key game against Man City. So probably the team will be tired. We will see new faces for sure. We are not going to see Bellingham, who was sent off, as we all know, against Osasuna. Real Madrid getting crazy about the referees, winless in the last 3 La Liga games, 2 draws and the defeat against Espanyol. So it's a must win. Then they have Betis away in La Liga, and Girona looks like a good team to face right now, Alvaro. We thought they might improve after the Champions League, but it's not the case.
It's not the case, not at all. I think that Girona right now needs a little bit of a reset. They need a pre-season. And of course, let's don't forget that the configuration of this squad they've got was done with a little bit of a hurry, because Girona needed many players because many left, and that wasn't easy. Some additions have worked, some others haven't. And it was always going to be almost impossible to replicate what Girona did last season. All that said, I thought that Girona was going to be doing better by this stage of the season. And Real Madrid, despite all the complaints towards the referees and all that, they are doing very well. I mean, some would say that Real Madrid is complaining because they are doing terribly, but no, it's not the case. I think Real Madrid is a formidable side, and they are playing really well despite the defensive issues. And I think that this game they are going to win it. Mbappé is in a great form. There is a race for the 𝗵𝗵𝗄 between Mbappé and Lewandowski. We spoke about Lewandowski, but what about the Frenchman? I mean, Mbappé is scoring. Mbappé is taking responsibilities. Mbappé is taking the shots. Personally, I think that sometimes Mbappé and Vinicius pass the ball to each other too much, because they still don't know how to play together very well. So at 𝗲𝗲𝗿𝗲𝗏, Osasuna ground, there was a chance when Mbappé could take a plain, simple shot, and he didn't do it because he passed the ball to Vinicius. But I guess that adjustment will come, okay? But I think that Madrid is going to win it, and I'm going to go for 3 odds in this game, because this is my favorite to bet in the whole round. It will be over 3 goals, 165. Asian handicap -2 for Real Madrid. This is the best odds I have found personally in the whole show. It pays 243. Last season Real Madrid beat Girona 4-0, and it was a different Girona. A Girona that was actually trying to challenge for La Liga title, and Real Madrid thrashed them. I think that this time Real Madrid is going to thrash Girona again. Asian handicap -2 for Real Madrid, 243. Or otherwise Mbappé to score. I think that the odds will be in the region of 170 to 185. I will take them as well. Jude Bellingham is not involved, I know about that. But Real Madrid is not playing particularly worse when Bellingham is not around, because they've got 2 or 3 strikers that can make the difference despite Bellingham not being on the pitch. I think that can happen. So I'm going to go for those 3 odds. Again, over 3 goals, Asian handicap -3 for Real Madrid, -2 for Real Madrid, or Mbappé to score. The three of them are very good, but of course the best money is Asian handicap -2 for Real Madrid.
Mbappé in good form, but still missing so many chances. It's true that also he's involved in the game and created chances, but in Pamplona, they should have scored a couple more of goals. Well, next one is Getafe
and
Betis.
Vinicius, sorry,
yes.
Vinicius was sensational in the second half against Osasuna. I don't know if you watched the game, Edu.
I watched, unfortunately.
But I think that, if you read the social media comments, you will think that Vinicius was terrible against Osasuna because he didn't score and all that. He was fantastic in the second half against Osasuna.
I was very angry at everything, Alvaro, I must confess, but then you have to focus in football, I agree, and I'm also fed up of all these comments about the referees, apart from my rage when my team is playing, that I guess is normal. Next game is Getafe Betis. Getafe, one of the most informed teams in La Liga. Bordalás, what a manager. I know we both love him. Alvaro, this squad is Segunda División squad for Getafe, and he's now 7 points away from Valencia beating Girona away, Alavés away, 4 wins and 2 draws in the last 6 games, and Betis is impossible to read, to be honest. The good thing, I guess, is that we are having fun with Anthony. Great landing in La Liga. I didn't expect much from him, but great signing, great winter signing.
Sevilla changes you in both in a human level and in a professional level. I'm gonna say as well that there is a player from the academy of Betis that I encourage all the listeners of this show to follow. 𝗵𝐸𝐺𝐸𝗏 Rodriguez. He played so well last weekend. Was it against Real Sociedad on Sunday? He dribbles. He leaves players behind. He's playing his first games in the top flight, and he's daring, he's audacious. I mean, he's got all the qualities that can make him, and I know that I am probably going too far too prematurely, but a worthy successor of Joaquin. Really, you have to watch this guy. He's really good. And so far he's been very impressive, and I thought that Betis made a mistake just selling a Sandiao for 10 million to 𝗏𝗏𝗏, but Betis knew, of course, that they have this player in the academy, and probably that was part of the plan, just to give more playing time to Jesus, and he's been very good. Betis is improving. I think that finally they have left behind a bad feeling that in Europe they didn't put a performance. I think that they wrap it up well, and they are going to be in the last 16 round of the Europa League as well. Sorry, the Conference League. And Betis has recovered a few players. They've got new strikers as well, because 𝗍𝐿𝐭𝐵𝐻, Vitor Roque, even Isco is back. So I think that in the second half of the competition they are going to have a better squad, stronger, and I think that Betis is going to be a strong candidate to finish in European places too, because they are fighting with Osasuna, Mallorca, Real Sociedad for that, and it looks to me right now that Betis has suddenly a stronger squad than all these teams. But what can we say about Getafe? 14 points in the last 6 games. They are the best team of 2025, I agree. Bordalás is a great manager. I really like the way he does. I think that there are very few sides in European football who play like Getafe. And then I have to say that on a personal level, I got to know a few things about Bordalás from a human perspective that make me think very good things about him. From what I have heard, what I have seen, a good man as well. I didn't know his human aspect either. And I think that Getafe is a very rocky, competitive side right now. This game can be interesting. The odds are inviting for either way, backing Betis or backing Getafe. In my case, I'm going to back Getafe just because they are in a very good run, but I'm going to take it with a pinch of salt. So an Asian handicap of -0.25 for Getafe, despite Betis' decent form, is something that I'm going to back, because Getafe at home, they've been very difficult to beat. Barcelona weren't able to win here. Asian handicap -0.25 for Getafe, 2.15. If Getafe wins, you win. If they draw, you suffer half a lose. And of course, there is a little bit of history between these two managers, Bordalás and Pellegrini, because Bordalás was the manager of Valencia in the Cup final 2022, won by Real Betis, with Pellegrini on the bench.
Betis playing on Thursday in conference, by the way. Finally,
yeah, but they wrap it up already.
Exactly. Finally, they had a good result in Europe, which is very unlikely for them. Also, Real Sociedad playing on Thursday, not completely decided against 𝗵𝗏𝗏, but almost 2-1. In Denmark, lost to Betis. In La Liga, they are completely lost. 4 defeats in the last 5 games. Important games for them in the Europa League, and the following week playing Copa del Rey semifinals against Real Madrid. So perhaps, Alvaro, Leganés can have a chance of getting points here, getting very close to the relegation. 2 points in the last 4 games, and probably they were even lucky to get a draw in against Alavés.
Yeah, well, for this game, look, it's not my favorite, this game, at all, because as you said, Real Sociedad will be thinking about the game against Real Madrid. Real Sociedad has been very unreliable this season, especially at Real Arena. I'm checking the numbers. They have a goal difference of -1 from the games they have played at home, which is really, really, really poor for a team that wants to qualify for Europe. And at home, they only got 17 points, 1-7. That's nothing. But Leganés is not going through the best moment right now. I can say that too. The last time they won a game was 5 games ago. And for this game, this is almost a pass for me. I don't like the odds for Real Sociedad to win personally. But if you are going to go for odds, and if you really want to try your luck and get good value, I think that Real Sociedad Asian handicap -1 will be the one. Real Sociedad just trying to redeem themselves, just trying to get a good result after a few disappointments at home. Asian handicap -1 for them pays 204. If they win by 1 goal, you get your money back. If they win by 2, you make that money. But still, this game is almost a pass for me. Not my favorite, because Real Sociedad has been very unreliable, and Leganés is not in the greatest moment either.
And for Monday, we have Sevilla Villarreal. Perhaps if Sevilla beat, Sevilla Mallorca, perhaps if Sevilla beat Mallorca, they can think about European spots. Why not? They are in the middle of the table, but after the win against Valladolid, they are only 3 points away from Mallorca, 7th in the standings. So could be an important game for Sevilla. Mallorca got their first win of 2025 against Las Palmas, Alvaro.
Yes, they did. They won 3-1. And, Dani Rodríguez is still at 36, just making the difference for Mallorca. 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗀 is finally scoring. He had a very, very difficult rough patch, not scoring goals at all, but we know the quality of 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗀, and finally he's getting the numbers that he believes that he can record. But in this game, I'm going to back Sevilla. I think Sevilla at home right now, they can be difficult to beat. Sevilla is improving gradually. For whatever the reason, over the last 2-3 seasons, it's been like this. Sevilla starts very poorly. They sack the manager, or they stick to the manager, even though they are not too sure about what to do. And finally, they finish the season in a good form. I think Sevilla is still on time to qualify for Europe. They haven't played the European game since December 2023, when they got knocked out of the Champions League. Another season without playing in Europe would be catastrophic for them, because the other day La Liga released the salary caps of the teams in La Liga, and Sevilla has one of the lowest, because they've got their financial issues as well. But there is one thing about Sevilla that I like, is the fact that when they score first, they tend to win their game. In fact, the numbers back that. From the 8 times that they have scored first in a game, they have won 7 of them, which is kind of a guarantee. Not that Mallorca is a bad side. In fact, overall in La Liga, they've been better than Sevilla. But for this game, I'm going to back Sevilla. Not with a win, necessarily, but with an Asian handicap -0.25. It pays 178. Again, if Sevilla wins their game, you get 178, or you multiply what you bet for that proportion. And if they draw, you will suffer only half a lose.
Well, guys, if you know as much as Alvaro in La Liga or even more, why not? You can post your tips in Oddspedia and win some cash prizes thanks to our competitions, or participate as well in our custom competitions. You can create your own one thanks to Rivals. Alvaro, safe bet?
Yes, you know, Edu, Real Madrid Girona is my favorite game of the week. So my safe bet is going to be Asian handicap -1 for Real Madrid, 143.
ACCA?
Asian handicap -2 for Real Madrid, Athletic Club Bilbao to win the second half. Altogether, 3.6.
Thank you, Alvaro. Thanks, everyone. Let's enjoy La Liga. Bye-bye.